So A.J. Brown?
Oh, 6 straight now, 125.
Julio Jones?
No, A.J. Brown.
A.J. Brown is
A.J.
where you
Brown.
go.
But he's back.
Unstoppable.
It's 6 straight games, 125 plus. Calvin Johnson did it 5 straight times. You don't get this kind of dominance where someone is manhandling defensive backs because he's too big, strong, and fast. This is not something you get from the wide receiver position. Stugotz, Jalen Hurts has a wonderful skill set, but right now he's throwing to a Randy Moss type of receiver.
Sure.
Can't be covered by 2 guys, can't be covered by one guy, is just bigger and stronger than the people he's going up against.
He has 6 consecutive games of 125 yards plus, which is better than any 6-game span Jerry Rice ever had in his career.
And still less yards than Tyreek Hill.
I know. You can make a legit argument, though, that Tyreek Hill or A.J. Brown should be the NFL MVP.
You have made both
could.
of those. You have made now. We are not even into the second hour of the show.
I'm just saying, Dan, it should be said, okay, on all platforms, on every show. Tariq Hill deserves to be the MVP of the NFL. He does.
Okay. And so does A.J. Brown.
Yeah.
Okay. That's fine. That's good.
He should be in the conversation. Tariq Hill should win it.
Stugotz.
He should win it.
I don't really want to have an MVP.
Take Tariq Hill off the Dolphins. Tell me what you think the record would be.
Thank you. You really want
I wish the MVP wasn't just humans. Because the tush push would be the MVP. We can agree on that,
Billy,
right?
It was stopped.
Did you see?
Yeah.
It was stopped, and then they came up with an audible, like a little evolution of the
Too
tush
soon.
push.
Yeah.
Man, that seems unstoppable.
What was your reaction when it was stopped? I was like, what?
Well, they just messed it up.
They messed the snap
They
up.
fumbled.
Still, I was like, what?
That's not supposed to happen.
But then I saw what Swift did, and they ran out of it. I'm like, oh,
What'd she do?
If you got no.
Did you see Denver played Taylor Swift songs loud at the end of that game? Come on, Denver. You gave up 70 early this season. You cannot taunt anybody.
Yes, you
they can. They
Yeah,
should
you
be
can.
celebrating this like it's their
They've
Super
lost
Bowl.
16 straight times to
Again,
that
you-
team.
another
They beat the
0.4.
Chiefs.
Yeah, they beat the Chiefs.
Take
Right.
your joy where you can find it, Dan.
Yep.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson, not terrible.
He's
Not
been
terrible.
he's been good this season,
He's been all right. Yeah, good for him.
but they gave up 70.
So,
Yeah.
they beat the
Nice.
Chiefs.
Bad game.
Yeah, exactly.
Happens from time to time.
You said they beat the Chiefs, Stugotz. I want to go over something here with you because they did beat the Chiefs, but clearly, right? This was a funny conversation before the game with Mina and Mike. They're arguing because you can't trust the Chiefs to cover. Nobody wants to bet against the Chiefs because you're scared of them scoring 35.
Of course.
Nobody wants to, but also you bet on them and they have these huge lines and they don't cover as much as they should, but you're just terrified to bet the other side. So lines even inflated in their favor because people love betting the Chiefs and are afraid of betting against the Chiefs. But Mike Ryan, who shows restraint here that surprises me because he's gambling way too much. He says, I'm staying away. I'm staying away. Reports are Patrick Mahomes is sick. And I don't know what that means.
What did Michael Jordan do when he had the flu?
Right. Yep.
And then I watched the game, and it's like, oh, that's what it looks like. Looks like the only time you've seen Mahomes look like that was the Super Bowl where he didn't have an offensive line.
Dude, Kansas City's kind of failed Mahomes, and I know his contract's part of it, and he has the greatest tight end ever. And when you look at their receiving core, you have to take that into consideration. Those receivers are terrible. He's been trying to have them make a play for him all season long, and they fail.
He won a Super Bowl with them.
That might be
understand.
wilder than Stugotz's
Pat
Riley failed Miami.
Listen, but
Dude, like those receivers are bad. They cut Mecole Hardman. Mecole Hardman comes back and reminds you why they moved on from Mecole Hardman.
Yeah.
Valdez-Scantling is even worse. Don't even get me started on former Fast Switch Energy Drink Player of the Week, Kadarius Toney. They have Travis Kelce,
Right.
who's been banged up this season, and nobody on that receiving core wants to step up. They're bad.
I want to talk about banged up for a second.
I'm sure they want to step up. They just, perhaps they can't.
They're not looking like it, and they've drafted. They keep thinking, oh, let's just get this fast guy. We'll turn him into Tyreek Hill.
Right.
It's a testament to Patrick Mahomes that he won without Tyreek Hill, and Tyreek Hill's off to the greatest start in terms of receiving yardage we've ever seen in post-merger. But they could use a receiver.
Stugotz, I want to talk about both of these things. One, banged up, just the phrase banged up, how much of that umbrella covers. Like, banged up in that league is crazy right now, and I want to go through something funny that happened with my wife in a second. But what Mike is saying and what you're saying about Tyreek Hill for MVP. It's not just that he's got unprecedented receiving numbers here in Miami when everyone knows, hey, they're going to be 12 targets there. Can you stop it? They're going to be 15 targets there. Can you stop it? No. But also you go to Kansas City and you're like, well, wait a minute. This used to look like that when Tyreek Hill played there. And Tyreek Hill's going to take that offense from there to here. Mike McDaniel's going to say when offered Tyreek Hill in a trade, yes, everything I have, push it over there, because you're watching every Sunday and you can't believe that you're seeing someone everyone knows is going to get the football and he's too fast for anyone to do anything about it. It's not that he's too big. He's too fast for anyone to do anything about it, so much so that not talking to a deep ball anymore. Like, clearly, he's going to get so open behind your secondary, and Tua's going to hit him, and you got to fear it the entire game. And so instead of playing Pittsburgh football offensively, where it's like third and 4 is like it's a C-section because you're playing in these.
It's called a cesarean section.
What
did you mean by that?
You need to get 6 yards gruesomely. It's hard.
6 yards is third and long for them.
I mean,
6 yards.
4
They
yards.
Are so
what is third
painful
and
to
long
watch.
for the Steelers?
Third and long, they're lucky if it's only third and long and not like third and 40. They are just so sad. And like, I will say, like there was a stretch of football yesterday in the first half of the Steelers-Jaguars game that was among the worst I've ever seen. It was terrible. Kenny Pickett got slammed into the ground, no penalty. They go out there and kick a field goal. It's like pouring rain. And then they get called on an offensive offsides because their guard was lined up incorrectly. I don't understand that. So then the field goal was longer. It was like, it would have been like 65 yards. He missed it. It was terrible. What an awful game. Just disgusting. And Matt Canada, like I was with a lot of Pitt people this weekend because Notre Dame was playing against Pittsburgh and I went to the game in South Bend. So I was with a lot of my Pittsburgh family and they think that Matt Canada is like the absolute most worst person on the planet Earth. And
He's ascending my
They
charts.
were saying that at a game in which Pitt lost 58-7. Their offensive coordinator is also on the shit list, but like nowhere in comparison to Matt Canada. They all want that guy to be gone.
Is there a more frustrating penalty than when a lineman just has their hand across the line of scrimmage? Like when a defense, you ever like offsides, and it's just, how do you, hey, defensive lineman, how about you just look a little left, you see the ball, don't put your hand across.
Chris Cody.
Christian Wilkins did that the entire game against Philadelphia.
Earlier in the season, the Steelers were in victory formation, and their left tackle was called for being lined up incorrectly, or false starting or something.
What's a victory formation?
I'll explain it to you later. It's what teams do when they're winning. They had to punt the ball back to the Ravens and give them one more offensive series. It was absurd.
the Steelers are 4-3. Nobody wants to watch
They
any
were
of
tied
that.
for first place in the conference before this weekend.
So are
In
the
the
Jets.
division, I should say.
Yeah, so are the Jets.
Same record as Joe Burrow.
You say, though, Chris Cody, more annoying penalty. I'll go with just every pass interference, given that it's really hard to come by yards in that sport, except sometimes just the defensive back barrel rolls into your wide receiver 50 yards downfield.